Welcome to Follow Your Joy podcast, where intuition is the doorway to your wisdom, your genius, and your joy. I'm your host, Marla Diane, and I've been transforming creative entrepreneurs' lives for over 26 years. Through 2 businesses as a success coach and a business strategist, and prior to that, an entertainment publicist and a talent manager for 2 decades. It's time to make joy your inner GPS for life and business decisions rather than lean on your logic and reason first. You'll not only be following what is most authentic to you and for you, but you will live the beautiful life that's meant just for you. You'll come to learn that following your joy is a life and a business strategy. Listen in for inspiring entrepreneurial stories and solocasts that illuminate how by trusting your intuition, you'll create a fulfilling result. Want to learn how to access, trust, or up-level your intuition? Join me in the conversation to find out how. All right. Hello, my friends. We are now in fall time, and we're more than half of the year is over. How's business? How's life? So I am very eager to have you listen to today's guest, Peter Kell. His story, how he listened to his gut, his intuition while finding his way in the world, to his current enormous success on many levels, is pretty awe-inspiring. Wait till you hear his resilience to challenges and what he did to go from 0 to 40 million in revenues, building a product-based company using his online methods and systems that you're going to hear today. I know it's crazy numbers, and his story is crazy good. I'm grateful to have you here, Peter, because my entrepreneurial community can benefit greatly from your experience and your methods. So let me give you a proper and formal introduction. All right, so everyone, Peter is a mentor, a serial entrepreneur, and rightfully titled the world's leading video sales letter marketer. Through the story of his struggle to victory moments over a decade, especially during his 20s, Peter perfected the art of the VSL creation, boasts an unmatched track record, seriously, of creating multiple 8-figure video sales letter campaigns for major brands. And in fact, those of you who are passionate, which most of you are, about personal development and mindset and success trainings, it was Peter who created the video sales letter department at Mindvalley, right? Helping establish their brand as a global leader in the human potential space. I love Mindvalley. So Peter's mission is to help e-commerce marketers, that's all of us, achieve multiple 7-figure months and create the most amazing life that you could ever imagine through the power of the video sales letter. It's the real deal, everybody. There's no hyperbole here. Wait till you hear the story. He mentors his winning recipe to achieve winning video sales letters. And look, after struggling to find himself, as I said, through most of his 20s, he was this broke skateboarder. It's such a great story to live in really the life of his dreams. And it was all through discovering the video sales letters. So I'm going to give you this quote, everybody, from his website, and then I'm going to bring him on because this really kind of drives it home. And y'all know what I teach and what I coach, and I think this will really resonate with you. So on his homepage, it says money, and it's an excerpt. Money is the root of all freedom. And being financially successful is like having a magic wand that lets you create anything your heart desires for you and anyone you love. I started broke and hopeless, living in my parents' basement, but with the right mindset and strategies, I built a skincare brand that grew from 0 to 40 million in 12 months. unheard of, and became an equity partner in the multi nine figure mindvalley.com. Right. It's my mission, he writes, to help you master the fundamental areas of life, mindset, and money. Yes. To show you the secrets that helped me and thousands of others gain freedom and abundance. And Peter, by the way, stands by, I love when you said, it was in one of your videos, the highest, biggest players are doing VSLs. Webinars can't touch VSLs, the past 5 years, especially. So, Peter, welcome to Follow Your Joy.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That was so heavenly. Thank you, Marla.
That was quite a comprehensive intro, wasn't it?
That was amazing.
All right, good. So, what I want you to do, because this is maybe the first time, not, I'm sure many of my listeners definitely have heard of you, but those that haven't, is let's have you share kind of the highlights of your journey, like why this focus, what happened in your personal life that kind of inspired you now to help others. And I call it our mess is our message, right?
Yeah.
So what happened, Peter?
How did it all start with when it came to helping others, in a sense?
Yeah, I think that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I had a mentor. I mean, I struggled for 4 years, failed 7 businesses in a row, got evicted twice, got my car repossessed, and eventually met some really successful online marketers who were like some of the best high volume Facebook advertisers in the world. And I had studied all these courses. I was a personal development junkie. And I remember them just telling me they were very low key and very secretive. And they told me, Peter, like, because it's very common for a lot of people in our industry to have some small success and then start teaching others. And they told me, like, don't do that. They told me, don't ever make a course, don't ever train anybody. Like, don't be those people who just go out there and have a course, because there's a saying in the industry that, like, when the ROI goes down, the guru course goes up, right? When I can't figure out how to make money anymore in my business, I'll just start teaching people to make money, which is, so it's like the industry is really riddled with products that really aren't from people who are absolutely killing it. And they just said, just be the best in the world. Just keep training, keep your head down, and keep practicing and go on and just do the best that you can be. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Right. So, and then one day, one of my ads literally became one of the best in the world. It was number one. It was at Mindvalley. If you follow Mindvalley, you've probably seen it. It's the Jose Silva, Helen Hansel video that might be popping on your phone all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it just became one of the top ads in the world. And I'm all about mastery. And coincidentally, right, like the universe will send you a sign a lot of times when you're paying attention. I just came across this quote that was like, the master is not the one who is the best in the world. The master is the one who creates the most masters. And I was really excited from that quote because it just made me realize that there was another level, right? Because I was like, what am I could either just try to win the Olympia over and over and over again for the next 7 years, or I can try to help other people become top at the game. And that's when I called my mentor back up and I was like, hey man, I know you told me never to make a course, but I think I'm going to make a course. He's like, why don't you have a course yet? You're like one of the top guys. So he just flipped the switch on me. So that's how it all began, with really helping people and teaching the secrets of the video sales letter.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that, creating masters from a master. It's all about paying it forward, isn't it? Isn't that why we're here?
It is. It's about bringing the best version of ourselves to the world so that we can inspire other people to bring the best version of themselves.
Well, it is.
And we can just show up for everyone else as just our highest self.
That's right. Amen on that. Good. Being that the theme, of the podcast is about following your joy, your intuition, doing life and work using, and I call it using the barometer of joy, right, to help and listen to your intuition and for decision making, right?
Yeah.
What brings you the most joy in what you're doing with your work in the world?
100% it is adventure. I am completely fueled by the adventure, the excitement, the thrill of from I am at A and I want to be at B, right? The goal setting adventure, like what is the best case scenario for my life? What is the best case situation that I could create in this chapter of my life, right? Just going on that adventure to get there, right? So it's the adventure to create masters in the sales letter is this chapter of my life, right?
Mhm.
It's because there's a lot to it, and it's that challenge of teaching people, seeing their results, and trying to have them get better results, and trying to do that at scale is the adventure that we're on. And I really just crave life being on an exciting adventure. And the problem with achieving your goals is a lot of times the adventure ends. And that's what I've discovered a lot of times with my goals, right? So constantly having new, exciting visions of the future that are a worthy adventure to be on. I think that's really what drives me the most.
So when you say the adventure ends, I mean there's a new adventure to create.
100%. When one chapter closes, the other one
Yeah.
begins though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So share a story of client, and I'm sure you have gazillion of them, but as far as some clients, walk us through a little bit here from the client that was, if you will, not doing it to now killing it.
Yeah.
Using, yeah, using your mastery and applying what you're teaching.
Yeah. So I think Mind Valley is probably my favorite case study right now. And I think it's
Okay.
applicable to all of us. Um, I took a monstrous financial loss after I sold my skincare brand. I basically did some highly risky activities to try to rapidly explode my wealth and just be this crazy, ultra successful guy. And it just went catastrophically bad, lost like 95% of everything.
Hmm.
And I remember like deeply praying for like a reason, because I really felt like there was a reason why I had this big exit, and there was a reason why all this stuff happened. And I really felt like I was following my intuition and I was following quote unquote God's plan, and it led me off a cliff. Right. So I really felt like, there was a reason that I got sent off this cliff. And I was praying for that answer to be shown to me, because I was quite screwed at that situation. So I was ready to like find an answer on doing this. And I remember going out to the park in like Stockholm, Sweden, just like praying every day for just a guidance and an answer, and make the path easy and clear for me to see, because I need easy, clear, and kindergarten simple, right? Don't no clues, no riddles, no hard to read Bible verses. I need simple explanations, right? That I can understand. And one day on a boat floating through Croatia, I run into Vishen, the guy who owns Mind Valley, Vishen Lakiani.
Yeah.
And we got to connecting. He was struggling with webinars. iOS 14 can kind of like hurt the webinar space. And I was like, yeah, VSL's beat webinars. Like, I'll come in and work on this. So, long story short, the universe clipped us together. And there was so many signs from his side and my side that we were just meant to work together and meant to come in and help transform this department. And it was very exciting because I was like, this is perfect. Little did I know that, I didn't know that the reason why the money got taken from me was because I needed that kind of back against the wall in order to achieve this Mind Valley win. The universe needed a huge win at Mind Valley. And I felt like it sent me in there to be the person. And I didn't know that the challenge was going to be so challenging. It was not a walk in the park, that I needed that, there's no way out, right? There is no massive financial cushion to land on here. This has got to be, we're going full on. So when we first got started, it was definitely heavy duty. I mean, the thing about VSLs is the trick to them is testing a lot of different campaigns to find one that works. One of them will absolutely change your life like no tomorrow. All it takes is one winning ad campaign to change your life like no tomorrow. Yeah. But to find that one, it's kind of like digging for gold. You know what I mean? You just have to find one gold mine to change your life forever. But it's a low win rate when you're digging for gold, right? That's very common in this kind of space. So I remember making a ton of campaigns. We had one that took off at the beginning, which set the faith in the department that we were building. And that was the Jim Quick Super Brain campaign. But a lot of the ones that we created after, we just couldn't get it to be nuclear level, because Mind Valley is a huge 300-person company. This isn't a little campaign that we have to, this has to be a complete monster from another dimension in order to grow this company to the levels that they need to be at especially because their product is like, $79 a month, $3.99 for the year. It's a high ticket price point, and we're trying to take a complete stranger scrolling on Facebook and get them to buy this. So it is like, we're not trying to get that. We're trying to get millions of people to do this. Like, we're trying to stop millions of people in their tracks, get them to pay attention and sign up to this life-changing platform, which is Mind Valley.
Yep.
Definitely every dollar that comes into Mind Valley is a life change, because it's just the coolest product ever. So it was a huge honor to be creating these campaigns, but a lot of them just didn't work. And I remember coming into Vision's house and being like, listen, Vision, we just had like a bunch of monster campaigns bomb and flop, and we haven't found that winning one. And I was like, listen, bro, even if every campaign I make completely falls on its head, and then because we had this big shoot coming up, I was like, even if everything we make flops, we still everything falls on solid ground, because the universe did not just bring us together to beat us around the bush here.
Right.
And I think that's a lesson for us really all. If you're really following your intuition and you're following God's plan or the universe's flow or your gut feeling, like it doesn't just put you in these situations for no reason. I've had moments, the lowest moments in my life, suddenly become exactly where I needed to be at that point in my life. Right. Which is so fascinating that, imagine it's where if all hell is breaking loose and at the same time, you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where the universe wants you. It's very crazy. So that kind of faith, and that is faith. And one of my favorite quotes is faith is feeling, which basically means if you actually believe that the universe had a way out for you and the universe had this amazing plan for you, then you would feel really excited about it. Right. It's the feeling that equals the faith. Right. And you're feeling, and this is like some law of attraction stuff. You're in the vibration, you're in the high frequency. That's when you start to attract things. The feeling is it. If faith is feeling, and you can't beat around the bush with the feeling. The universe knows whether you feel good or bad, right? It's actual, like, your energy is faith. And that's what faith does mean, is like the total energy there. So, I mean, and lo and behold, just holding on to that faith and holding on to that vision and giving it everything you had. I mean, it was no small task. Like, the universe was asking me to squeeze every last drop out of my brain every single day, like 16-hour days, right? In order to do this. I mean, we're shooting 45-minute documentaries basically, and I'm shooting like 4 at a time. So we're writing nonstop. It's deadline after deadline after squeezing. And it was like waking up feeling like I am a warrior for God and let's going into battle, right? It was like some heavy duty, hardcore stuff, completely obsessed, living in Estonia to make it happen. And when you come at it with that kind of energy and that kind of vibration, and your underlying foundation is I am meant to be here. There is a reason. There's a way to make this work. There's a way to make this thing work. The universe will just open up the doors, right? And suddenly you make one, it launches, and then it explodes, and then it just kicks off. And then the ROI is there, and then you scale it. The ROI is holding. You scale it. The ROI is holding. You scale it even higher. Boom. Next thing you know, you're doing $100,000 days, and it's just like you are entering into
stratosphere.
You're entering into stratospheric potential, and then suddenly the energy on the entire place just shifts, and it's just like, thank you, Jesus, right? Thank you, Jesus. And
and part of that, everything that you're saying, my gosh, I mean, that's absolutely, it takes a lot of grit, a lot of faith, a lot of belief. But what I found in also with coaching in my own life is that many times I had to get out of my own way. That it wasn't so much the grit, the hard work, getting it done, over and over and making the mistakes. Yes, that's part of the journey, of course. But I also found, look, I needed to look at myself. What did I need to do to get out of the way to make it easier, make it a win? Did any of that ever come up for you in this challenging process?
Well, I mean, this thing about this particular situation was there's just a lot of stones to overturn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mind Valley has so many courses. I had no idea that the Silva Ultramind method, talking about ESP and manifesting your dreams, I didn't know that was going to be the one.
Mm.
right? So I had endless products I had to make documentaries for. I had endless ideas that I had to execute on.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time, it's just like you have to flip over all the stones. You have to come up with each idea that you have. Like you have to think about that idea, download it from a higher power, and then execute on it. And
Right.
each step leads you to the next step.
Right.
Is at the end of the day, if you want to get to the top of Mount Everest, you just have to take that next step over and over again,
Right.
and eventually, maybe you get there.
Yeah. Well, it's a learn. I mean, what I heard is it was a huge learning curve, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge learning curve, coupled with the faith and the trust that you're going to get there. You know.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's that we're not alone in this, but yes, on the actual getting stuff done, yes, it's a huge learning curve when it's something that you're typically not obviously familiar with. But it's,
Yeah.
as you were saying too, the theme really here, it's very bittersweet, our evolution. When you were saying that, the universe put the two of you together, absolutely nothing is ever a coincidence. You know that. It's all part of our journey. It's all part of what we specifically, whatever that is for us, needs to learn and needs to evolve. Right. So, yeah, you were positioned, placed in that time of your life because that's apparently what you most needed to learn, right? To evolve. Agreed?
100%. I mean, that was exactly what I had been asking for.
Yeah.
And that was the exact setup that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And it was just like, amen. I mean, you go from losing 95% of everything to just being right back up and picked
Yeah.
back up,
Yeah.
and now that success, like, seriously carried over to what we're doing today. And like,
Yeah.
it just completely laid the foundation to make everything that's happening today possible.
Totally. Yeah. I
So the
look at
rewards
that.
are there.
Yes, they are for sure. And I look at that as there's a success blueprint in us, is that once we've done it, we can do it again.
100%. Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what you're, sharing with us, which I think is just tremendous. So what was the winning VSL that finally broke it?
That was the Jose Silva Ultramind campaign. Yeah, with the
Okay.
Helen Hansel. And
Yeah.
Helen Hansel could win any competition she took imagined of, right? She won trips to Paris, votes, houses, all that stuff, right?
Oh
All
my,
because she studied from Jose Silva. And then it just goes down a rabbit hole on
yeah.
Jose and reveals the course. And yeah, that inspired a lot of people to join in.
Very, very good. I mean, I personally have seen it dozens of times. In fact, now I can almost recite the beginning of the video sales letters. I'm
Yeah.
seeing it either in Instagram or Facebook or wherever it's at. I'm like, oh, there it is again.
There it is, coming after me, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, that was the one. Well, good. Congratulations. Just huge congratulations to make that happen. I mean, my God, the like I said, the grit that it took and the faith to just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you become a miracle worker, quote unquote, or like a warrior
Mm-hmm.
for God, or quote
Yep.
unquote, then God works miracles through my fingers, right? Loves to work miracles through my fingers, through my hard work. I'm the war. Like, it's like, my girlfriend's all about, like, very much, just attracting things to her,
Yeah.
which is all power to her, right? But I
Mm.
know that God, like, uses me as the angel, right, to go work stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because like, you kind of like, when you just want to attract it without doing anything, you're asking somebody else to be the angel.
Mhm.
When I think we're all angels, and we got
Mm.
to be the angel that rolls our own life and rolls other people's lives and shows up as our best self,
Right.
in shape, right mindset, right
Right.
vibration, right financial status, the person worth listening to, the person worth looking up to, the person who inspires other people to level up their own life. I
Right.
mean, that's the angel I think we all need to, like, work towards and
Yeah.
be and show up as at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Sometimes those are called light workers.
Light workers, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but and I know you and I share the admiration, and I know you're good friends with Sonia Choquette. I mean, talk about a light worker.
Yeah. Yeah, she will show up to a Mind Valley event and have zero preparation, zero speech ready to go. And she
Amazing.
will dominate the entire speech, win best speaker, all because she's intuitioning, right? Just drops everybody off the rocker. And her vibration is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. She just uses complete intuition to speak. Yeah.
100%.
It
Yeah.
is incredible. Whoo. So, all right. So that was that huge success. Now, today, you're launching as we speak the AI version of VSL.
Yeah.
What's going on
Correct.
behind the scenes with that one, Peter?
Well, there is a complete revolution, no joke, happening in the advertising world, and that is AI, hands
Yeah.
down. So I had some jaw-dropping moments, but it really started with my students, right? So I began to teach this. I put together an 8.5 hour program, my VSL masterclass. I put together a group coaching thing where I would teach people and guide them and bring them up to speed. But I still found, and I remember now that I think about this, my entire life, whenever I say I do VSL, people go, "Oh, VSLs are super, super hard." It's hard. And I found my students, they would come back to me after 2 weeks and be like, "Yo, Peter, I just did it. I made my first script. It's 5 minutes long. It took me 2 weeks to write."
Oh,
Like, 2 weeks? 2 weeks to write one script? You need to test like 10 scripts, bro. You need to test like 10 different ads. 2 weeks for one script? Like, I could just see these guys are amazing people, but there is a hard skill set. And then hiring copywriters is expensive, but that's what they're paid really well for, is they can make you a ton of money if they
right.
write some award-winning copy. So
Hmm.
AI had come out, and I had some really interesting moments because, I mean, my story essentially of becoming a great copywriter is not actually that I'm a great copywriter. It's that, my mentors told me forever ago that, hey, you actually don't really know what you're doing, and you failed 7 businesses, and you really shouldn't be like trying to come up with any good marketing ideas because you kind of suck at this whole thing, right? It says your track record. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to study all of the biggest campaigns. Here's a big swipe file of these monster campaigns that came before you. I want you to wake up every day and rewrite one of these things for the product that we're selling today. So I had this big collection. I called it the VSL Bible, like a giant swipe file of these big campaigns. And whenever I'd stumble across a campaign, I would just wake up and start rewriting it by hand and just start following a proven formula, which I learned very quickly that was the way to do it. That wasn't like a good way to do it. That was the way to do it, is like constantly spy on the biggest campaigns and then rewrite them. And because then you're creating proven ground. You're creating on something that was already very successful. And so we wondered, hey, could AI do this? Right? Could AI do this?
Mm-hmm.
And turns out the answer is yes, in a huge way. Very quickly, we found that, if I just trained AI on you and your product and your story and your testimonials, and then I trained it on all of these monster campaigns, I have a collection of over 20 videos that all did over 8 figures in sales that are between 3 to 6 minutes long. 20 different videos that did 8 figures in sales. I'm talking about 10 to $100+ million in sales from one 5-minute video that somebody would make. Unbelievable. Wow. We trained it on those, and then suddenly now it can create 20 different, it rewrites all of these things in a blink of an eye.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So we spent the last month putting together the foundation to make this easy and effortless for anybody to do. And it's called VSL.AI. I just believe it's the future. Right now it creates 20 world-class scripts for you almost instantly for like $50 a month. It's so affordable for anybody, complete anybody. And you scroll through them, you find a few of them that are incredible, you film 10 of them, you upload them to Facebook ads, and kaboom, you really have something that's working. I can't promise that it's going to work because my lawyers say I can't, but it's yeah. It's the closest, it's the best shot anyone has at making something work for just the price of, nothing, right? A cup of coffee a day. So it's really mind-blowing. And that's just the beginning of it. The future is basically you hit a button and then suddenly 10 videos, advertisements are made and uploaded instantly for you to launch.
Yeah.
So like AI avatars, just AI spokespeople for your brand, AI B-roll, it all just puts it all together, a sales pitch for you right away. And that future is not very far off, but the script writing future is here today.
So is this available to the public as we speak, or are you still working on it?
This is launching to the public on Monday. So anyone who's
Monday.
listening to this, it's probably launching right now. We just launched it to my internal students. All my students got like, a little few days early access, and they're ripping through it right now. And we're just plugging together the final pieces to make it go live on
Oh,
Monday. And it's just
oh,
the first draft. It's the
fabulous.
first variation of a complete advertising revolution. So I entice anyone who's interested in this to stay around and stick around for the long run, because any level up in the AI world will immediately be translated to your products
Yeah.
and you selling better online.
Okay. So we're talking August 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah. August 21st goes live. All right. Because this will, our particular interview will be beyond that date. So it'll already be out.
Yeah.
Just FYI. That I will keep an eye on. It's on my calendar. It's definitely on my calendar. That's remarkable. Wow. I love that.
Yeah, I just had I did a group coaching call with one of my students last Wednesday, and
Okay.
he sells advanced Python coding training to software engineers. So these are software engineers who are intermediate at Python and want to
Uh-huh.
become experts. And I'm looking at this like, I have no idea how I would sell this, right? Like, I don't know anything about
Right.
Python coding, whatever. So I was
Mhm.
like, let's try VSL.AI. So we go to his website, we copy everything on his sales page, we just paste it in, and
Mhm.
then immediately it gives this buyer demographic of exactly who the exact person that would buy this is and all their fears. These are like developers who want to be superior to their other developers, and they're sick and tired of like being like insignificant feeling because they don't know how to do this advanced stuff. That's like the reason why they want to level up. They don't even want a big career update. They just want to be, the people who like know all these tricks, but
Right.
they're frustrated with all these things. And then immediately we just hit a button, and then it writes one of these scripts, and the guy's jaw like just hits the floor, just because he just sees an opportunity for him to finally sell his products at scale.
Wow.
Just open up like the door, like just the light in the tunnel opens. And it was really cool to see, because it's putting my own stuff to the test pretty hard. And it
It
was
really, yeah, it really is. In
button
fact,
clicks. It was button clicks,
it was what?
a button clicks,
A
right?
button click. Yeah.
Button click, right?
Yeah. In fact, I think you can see that on your I think it's on your YouTube channel, isn't it? Isn't there
Correct. Yeah, you
yeah,
can watch it on the YouTube channel. I just posted that specific
yeah,
interview.
yeah. I think I glanced at that. I mean, it's almost uh, hard to at times with the whole AI thing. It's almost hard to wrap your head around it that it's that efficient and that quick.
Yeah.
I had joined it's Jarvis today before it was no Jarvis, now it's Jasper.
Jasper. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I signed up with them 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
I was posting this stuff to join and learn how to use AI in your marketing copy. Nobody was interested. I mean, I literally was like, what? Why aren't you guys listening to this stuff? And it's
Yeah.
it's just it's just the evolution, and I find it very interesting. In fact, I think I did a blog post or a video or something around this 2-3 weeks ago. And I said, where were you 2 years ago when I was explaining where our future is with this AI? But yeah, it's just sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around it. Incredible.
Yeah. GPT-4 really changed the game for everybody.
it
That's
it
what
really,
it really blew up. Yeah.
yeah,
That was some insane quality that was able to produce that
God,
had never been able to be produced yet. So that was a big tipping point in
incredible.
evolution. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of AI stuff coming out right now. I heard a really good theory, because
Mhm.
it's going to be pretty dangerous to a handful of people, a lot of people. And there was like there was a analogy somebody made. He compared it to COVID, where like when COVID came out, everyone was talking about it, but when Tom Hanks got COVID, like there was a moment where Tom Hanks got COVID, and then
Right.
suddenly it was real for
It was
everybody. If
real.
this
Yeah.
guy can get COVID, we all can get COVID, right?
Right.
So they're saying that AI right now is in the pre Tom Hanks stage,
Right.
where it's waiting for a celebrity to lose their job to AI until everyone starts freaking out, right?
Oh,
So
interesting.
once that moment happens, then it's going to be
Mhm.
a totally different like rush that happens, kind of where everyone takes it seriously. Because right now, not a lot of people are taking it too seriously.
Mm.
Um, but eventually it's going to just sweep at a real fast speed.
It's going to be
So, and it is going to be like the Jetsons versus the Flintstones, right? Where people who
totally.
ride on the backs of AI versus
Mm-hmm.
people are still rolling stones around, right? Like it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
suddenly, I mean, it makes what I used to do look like the Stone Age.
It's
Waking up, squeezing my brain, trying to come up, be creative. It's all
100%.
that's all gone.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why this is so incredible is I'm a writer. I mean, that's my background. My background, I've been a writer for, years, and I built a whole career prior to this in journalism and a publicist and all that. Writing comes easy for me is my point. It doesn't come easy for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So it's a huge game changer for all of you that don't like writing. And like you said, that you have to squeeze your brain, like Peter. It's just incredible. So, everybody listening, go look for Peter's. We'll give you some information in the show notes and links, but please go and sign up for this stuff. $20 a month, Peter? Seriously?
50. It's 50
50.
bucks a
Sorry,
month or
50.
37.50. Yeah.
37.50, $50 doesn't matter. Oh my God.
It's 100
Anything
times
below
cheaper than a copywriter. That
yeah,
was the
anything
goal.
below $100 a month is beyond worth it. That's really, really super. Okay. So to kind of wrap this up, Peter, based on your experience, um, I always like to ask this near the end. It's like, what key advice do you want to give to my creatives? That's typically creative entrepreneurs that are this audience. What kind of key advice would you give to them? And
So,
yeah.
yeah. What kind of key advice would I give to them? I mean, I'm going to give you my favorite motto ever, which is the double your high score
Okay.
adventure. Because again, I'm after the adventure.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite Jim Rohn quotes
Mm.
was the biggest mistake people make is majoring in minor things, getting really good at things that just don't matter or just aren't going to add very much value. And that hit me really hard because I was really good at a game called Guitar Hero, like a video game. And I was getting all these points in the video game and I could do nothing with them. Right. I had all these stars and they're just useless. And I'm like, why am I getting so good at this thing and earning so many points I can't do anything with? So the game of internet marketing was fascinating because you could get points and do stuff with them. Right. And it's very much like a video game. So
It
I
is.
discovered this idea called the double your high score, which was the adventure that I wanted to go on, which was basically
Mm.
uh, if your goal, whatever it is, anything less than double the most amount of money you've ever made in a month is too low. And anything higher than doubling the most amount of money you've ever made in a month is too high. So I found that if when you're goal setting, you just think about what's the most amount of money I've ever made in a month, let's double it. That's your goal. And in order to do that, all you have to do is double the most amount of money you've ever made in a day.
Yeah.
And if you can do that and then do it consistently back to back, have your first back to back day, right? Let's say you want to get to 10 grand a month. Your first $300 a day is basically it, right? Was that like, yeah, it's $300 a day. You have to have your first $300 day and then you have your first $300 back to back day. And then you try to go for your first $600 day. And once you're able to do that, suddenly the 10 grand a month just gets there on its own.
Yeah.
So I really like that because at the early part of my career, I would not do activities that were less than $10,000 a month because I was too big for them. My goals were too high. Right. But I would ignore anything lower than that. But I was not even at $1,000 a month. So I was just, right. So I was, once that really hit me, I'm not even getting one sale. Right.
Yeah.
Your first milestone, double your high score. I'm at 0. Let's go for one. Right.
Right. Go for one.
Even a negative $20 loss is still a high score if you're at 0. Right? At least you have a number on a board. Now let's go for negative 10. Right. Kind of just climb this ladder. And
so how do you keep that mindset? What would some of the advice to keep that double your highest score mindset?
how do you keep the mindset? I mean, writing your goals down every single day is definitely one of the best ways to do it because I mean, at least for me, I'm sure everyone else in the world understands this is like falling off of the wagon is the biggest killer, right? You're stoked for 3 months, you read a book for 5 months, and then you're just off it, right? In a sense. So setting up your life in your house so that it's easy for you to get back on the train I am surrounded by vision boards in my office right now, to the left and to the right of me.
Yep.
I have affirmations stacked in my shower. I have vision boards all over my house,
Me too.
right? Like everywhere I step, I'm back on track in a
Yeah.
sense. It picks me back up. So I have tattooed my forearms. I have my values on my forearms, and I have God's plan on my forearm. That for that exact reason, I keep not getting off track. It was not just pulls me back on track.
It's so true. Top of the mind. I mean, these are the things, same thing here. I've got in my bathroom, on my desk, my flip chart. I've got everywhere I look.
Yeah.
I've got books sitting up with pages open so I can see it during the day.
Yeah.
Right. Constantly
Amen.
feeding the mind, feed the mind, feed the mind.
Eye on the prize.
Yep.
Eye on the prize,
Eye on the
which is another
prize.
one of the biggest, a huge mistake people make, is just focusing on where they don't want to go versus
Yep.
focusing on where they want to go.
Yeah.
Most people are trying to not be stressed versus trying to relax. It's the same thing, but totally different results,
Yeah.
right? So just focusing on where you're going specifically is just,
Yeah.
so you're creating a life where you, like, let's say your high score is $10,000 a month and you want to get to 20, creating a life where you are creating $20,000 a month. You're just writing down, I'm so happy and grateful now that I make $20,000 a month. I'm so
Yeah.
happy and grateful now that I'm easily, consistently doing $600 a day.
That's right.
Now that I'm doing $1,000 a day. Now that I'm doing $2,000 a day, and
That's
just
it.
climbing that ladder.
Yeah.
And it is the most fun ladder for me to climb in general, right? It's climbing not for money's sake. You're not climbing for money. You're climbing for mastery. You're
Yeah.
climbing to be better. And you're climbing because it's fun and it's an adventure and it's challenging. You never did it before. You got to learn a bunch of stuff. You got to grow. And all your friends and family are going to be inspired when you hit that next level. And you show up to life with a little bit more financial oomph in your back pocket, right? To do some dope stuff, which is really cool. Money is just this side bonus that comes from it, right? But becoming the man or the woman is the main core piece. That's really the best. But
yeah.
now you can play a game with points that you get to play with.
Yeah. Well, it's it was Jim Rohn that said it's who you become on the way to millionaire or whatever, that, fill in that blank. It's who you become, not necessarily arriving.
Yes. Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fabulous. Yeah. And there was somewhere I read too that one of your quotes too is be obsessed or be average.
Yep. 100%. A little bit of permission there. That gives you a little bit of permission to just go all the way and go hardcore. You got to hit, sometimes when you have an opportunity, you have to hit it harder than you've ever hit anything in your whole life.
Yeah.
And that means going hard. That means completely being obsessed is okay. It's actually not only okay, it's the way to do it. That's your advantage, right? If you take 2 days off, it really flips it. Michael Phelps said it really well. If I took 1 day off of swimming, it takes me 2 days to get back in the flow,
right,
in the pool, right? So complete, absolute obsession of, and you don't have to go 24/7 obsessed, but I like to call them seasons, right? I call them seasons where I stop going out, I stop hanging out with a lot of people, and I take a 3-month sprint where I'm completely obsessed with like creating this reality, creating this new reality where I built this business, where my business is doing X amount a month, creating this new setup in my life, right? Getting this thing off the ground, especially when you're launching a business, you got to go ultra hardcore mode and say no to all sorts of things. All my friends are going to Burning Man. I was like, hell no, not even close. Nope. I went last year, not going this year. I have the opportunity of a lifetime right now. And I know for myself, it's possible for me to drop the ball. I have dropped the ball before. So whenever I'm holding, the golden baby or whatever, I'm not risking dropping it. So that just means full obsession mode. And most people will think that's weird. Most people will try to call balance on you, but balance is a light switch. It's not a rule for life. Balance is a light switch. You turn balance on and then you turn it off and go obsessed, right? Right? It's a light switch. It's not a permanent state of being in your life. It's a light switch.
Yeah. Well, it's for sure. That's the mindset. It's like you can have the balance obviously when you want, if you really put your mind to it. But yes, there are times when you have to sprint. You have to stay so focused.
Yeah, when you
that
square up.
nothing can be in the way,
Yeah, for me, balance came at Mind Valley after we cracked those big campaigns. That's when balance was allowed, and I was allowed to go to the events, or I allowed myself to go to the events, and allowed myself to go to all these things.
Yeah,
but that would have not happened without full overload, obsession, full on immersive. I locked myself in the apartment underneath Vision's house, and I was like just every day. It took 6 months. It was a 6-month hardcore sprint. It usually takes 3 months to do a big transformation in any business.
Okay.
I mean, now with the AI stuff, it should be faster, way faster. But that first 3-month thing didn't work. So it took another 3-month sprint. So it was a 6-month full on sprint, as hard as you've hit anything in your whole life. And then there we go. It really unlocks a lot of abundance there. I mean, I get paid on royalties for those sales. So it's
incredible.
I'm chilling right now.
Yeah. Fantastic. And everyone too, on top of all this, wonderful advice that you're getting now, go to also on Peter's website on the homepage. He's got 12 rules that if you apply this year, as it reads, it'll bring you massive success. So he's got 12 rules on his homepage. Go to there, and follow that advice too. Love that, Peter. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I really like doing that. Everyone else wanted like a regular homepage. I'm like, no, I'll do an article.
I know, right? It was like a blog. And it's true. And your story is on the homepage too. So yeah, I found those truly helpful, and I absolutely align with all those. So excellent. So Peter, where can people get a hold of you? And of course, we'll again put it in the show notes. Where would you like them to go see you?
I think the most life-changing thing anyone can do right now who is trying to sell a product or inspire people to solve problems and need to make videos that do that very effectively is go to VSL.AI and sign up to that and take a swing, give it a shot. Give it like, if you don't find a script that you feel like can absolutely change your business, just let us know. We'll refund your money, no questions asked. But if you get one that bangs, that is a lifetime invest ROI you're going to get for the whole software thing. So going there is number one. If you want to connect with me personally, you can go to my Instagram at Peter Kell, and or you can go to my website, peterkell.com. And if you want an in-depth, more advanced training on VSLs and how you can use them to grow your business, there's the doubleyourhighscore.com, and you can also find it at peterkell.com, which is my VSL masterclass and training there. But
doubleyourhighscore.com, and then of course your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, everyone. Gosh, that was a shot in the arm, wasn't it? I love that. So good. Everybody, here's another level of following your joy and listening to your intuition. This stuff works, and I cannot emphasize it enough. Here's someone like Peter who's been using this from skateboarder to now 8-9 figure person, entrepreneur, teaching others, the master teaching the masters. Listen please to your intuition, follow your joy. It's telling you, for you specifically, where to go, and how you can be successful. Will you have challenges along the way? 100%. Of course you will, but stick with it. Listen to the intuition. Don't listen to your logic first. Follow that after. Get the direction from your intuition and then put feet on that intuition. All right. Okay, Peter, fabulous time with you. Thank you for being here. And again, everyone, AI is it. Video sales letters, go grab it. All right, take care.
Thank you so much, Marla.
Thank you. Thanks for listening in. You can find more entrepreneurial stories and resources at marladiane.com. And while you're there, enjoy my 3 free downloads to up-level your business and your life. How about you take a screenshot of this episode and tag me on Instagram by sharing your highlights of what you learned today. I'd love to connect there with you. Until next episode, take care.